Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Off the Record podcast. My name is James, and today I'm by myself, but it's another kind of short video that we're going to be discussing MLB power rankings. Every single team will be getting ranked. This is going to get interesting. This is going to get wild. Some of my takes are honestly wild. Yeah, I'm going to go over what the format is going to be. I'm going to go over the MLB's, like their official power ranking. Then I'm going to go over ESPN's. Then to cap it off, I'm going to go Yahoo. So like those are just like the three outlines. I'm just going to show you guys what their predictions, like what their power rankings are. And then I'm going to do my power rankings. So without further ado, I think we should get straight into this one. So MLB has the Dodgers ranked at number 1. I mean, I think all of them have the Dodgers ranked at number 1, so it's not really too much of a surprise. Same with the Brewers. I think all of them have the Brewers at number 2. But then there's kind of a little bit like a turn like from here on out, right? The MLB has the Braves at 3, Yankees at 4, Phillies at 5, Tampa Bay at 6, Chicago at 7. Well, actually, the Cubs at 8. I should probably say the White Sox at 8. Oh no, the Cubs at 7, White Sox at 8, Padres at 9, Seattle Mariners at 10. So, I mean, basically, like, I agree with, like, the top 10, right? I think some of those are ordered going to be, like, switched around. But again, it's not a bad take. And then we have the Marlins at 11. Okay, wait, excuse me. I think I messed up on something. I think I said, so Padres are 9 and the Mariners at 10, I think I might have said Marlins at 10, right? But we'll see. So then it's Marlins at 11, Cardinals at 12, Guardians at 13, Pirates at 14, Diamondbacks at 15, and yeah. So I think I really like the list so far. I mean, a couple things I'm going to change around and you will see in mine. Then we have Nationals at 16, Rangers at 17, Athletics at 18, Astros at 19, Blue Jays at 20, Reds at 21, Orioles at 22, Twins at 23, Red Sox at 24, Tigers at 25. Then they have the Tigers. Then they have the Mets at 26, Royals at 27, Giants at 28, Angels at 29. To cap it off, they have the Colorado Rockies at number 30. So that's the MLB's power ranking, right? So it's very interesting. It's very similar. A lot of these like sources that I got them from are very, very similar, right? It's all very similar because again, that's basically what it is. It's all super similar. Now we're gonna go do the ESPN's power through, and like I said, I do believe. No, they have a different top 3. Obviously, Dodgers, Brewers, number 1, 2. But then they have the Rays at number 3. And the MLB had the Braves at 3, not the Rays. So very interesting. But then they have the Braves at 4, the Yankees at 5, Phillies at 6, Cubs at 7, White Sox at 8, Marlins at 9. So big jump from them, from MLB. Mariners at 10, they say the same. Rangers at 11, Guardians at 12, Cardinals at 13, Padres at 14. That's a big one because MLB had them at but MLB had them top 10. They had them 9, so they dropped 5 spots. So ESPN had them taking a big dip. Then we have the Pirates at 15, Nationals at 16. They are the same, I believe, with the Diamondbacks as well at 17. Astros at 18, Blue Jays at 19, Twins at 20. So they take a big jump from 24 to 20. Then Athletics at 21. Red Sox at 22, so they also take a jump. Reds at 23, Orioles at 24, Tigers at 25, Mets at 26. So their bottom 5 is the same, right? Tigers, Mets, Giants, Angels, Royals, Rockies. But they actually have a little bit different. They actually have the Royals. MLB had the Royals at 27, right? They have the Royals at 29, and they have the Giants, I believe, at 28, and then Angels at 29, right? So it's, again, very different, as you can tell. But now the final one, before we get to mine, is Yahoo. And they are, again, they agree with ESPN on the top 5, I believe. Yes, top 5. Yes. No, but basically. So, Dodgers 1, Brewers 2, Rays 3, Braves 4, Phillies 5. The differences in the top 5 is that they had the Yankees at 5, and for ESPN, Yahoo has the Phillies at 5. But the Yankees come right back out at 6, Cubs at 7, White Sox at 8, Guardians at 9, Rangers 10. So they take a big jump from ESPN, because the MLB site had the Rangers at 17. So that's 7 spots that they moved up. Right, then we have the Cardinals at 11, Padres at 12, Mariners at 12, Padres at 13, Marlins at 14, right? So, Marlins were actually in the top 10. They were 9 for ESPN, but then for Yahoo, they're 14, right? Pirates at 15, Astros at 16, Nationals at 17, so that's a little bit different. That's the first one where we see the Astros ahead of Washington and the Diamondbacks. So the Diamondbacks are at 18, Blue Jays at 19. First time they come across the top 20. And then they have Twins at 20. And then it's actually the exact same, I believe. 20 is the Twins. 21 is the Athletics. Yes, it is. No, 20. No. Wow, okay. So, Twins at 20. Reds at 21. Baltimore at 22. Athletics at 23. Boston at 24. The difference here is that the Athletics and Boston, if they were 21 and 22, it would have switched. It would have been the same, but they weren't. Then Tigers, Giants, Angels. Okay, so that the bottom 5 is the exact same. Tigers, Mets, Giants, Angels, Royals, Rockies. All of those have been the bottom 5 so far. But now, finally, it's time for my predictions and what I think about them. So, I didn't have that much information. I was kind of just saying out teams, but finally, I'm going to get some information out to you guys. Dodgers, number 1. They have a 53 and 31 record. They had 8. By the way, I know this is coming out a little bit late. I believe these dates, I can check when these dates for you guys were. If not, I'm entirely sure. They were from July 2nd. So, we're already, I believe, I don't even know what date it is. I think it might be the 7th. I don't even know. Right, who cares? But, anyways, these dates are a little bit behind. So, a lot of these records might be changed. All these are from July 2nd, by the way. Dodgers at 1. Dodgers at number 1. They had a 56 and 31 record, as I already said. They had an 18 and 9 June, so a very good June for them, and they're first in the NL West. Then we have the Milwaukee Brewers, 53 and 31. Played 3 less games than the Dodgers. They had a 17 and 10 June, so basically around the same, and they're also first in the NL Central, excuse me. And we have the Atlanta Braves at number 3 for me. They had a 50 and 34 record. They had a 9 and 14 June, but they remained first in the NL East. So a very, very, very bad June, and it costed them, right? A lot of people had them top 10, or they were actually number 1 for a lot of people's list in May and April and May. They were number 1 for a lot of people, and they kind of dipped because of June. Their record wasn't so great. Then we have the Tampa Bay Rays, who were 50 and 33, had a dead even June at 13 and 13, and they are second. Excuse me. And they are first in the AL East. Then at 5th, we have the Philadelphia Phillies at 49 and 30 and 38. They had an 18 and 9 June, so a very, very good June for them. They were able to bounce back from not having a really good May in April, right? Very mid-April and May, but they were able to bounce back finally, get a good June. And they are second in the NL East. So that's the top 5. There's only one AL team in the top 5, and it is the Rays. As you see in Anderson and I previous video, I said the Rays are overrated. That doesn't change. It's just that their record is so good right now. Their team is so good. They always find ways to win, even with not great pitching. So it's like, I still find them overrated. Do I think they'll make the playoffs? Yeah. Do I think they'll actually be number 1 in the AL East? No, I don't. I think the Yankees will overtake them once Judge is healthy. Speaking of the Yankees, they're at 6. They have a 48 and 38 record. Not a good June at all, though, with a 10 and 15 June. So not good for them. 12 and 14 June, excuse me. So not a really good June for them. Judge was injured, which was quite unfortunate. Then we have the Chicago Cubs, who had a 49 and 38 record. They had a 10 and 15 June. Or no, a 16 and 10 June. Wow, I'm saying all the June dates wrong. I'm sorry, guys. But they are second in the NL Central, so they're not playing bad. At number 9, we have the Chicago White Sox. They have a 45 and 40 record with a 13-12 June, very even June, but that's able to give them enough for first in the AL Central. So good for the White Sox. Probably, arguably, they're probably the biggest surprise this season, besides the Mets, who are the biggest down surprise, I guess, because they suck, right? Now, number 10 for me, I have the Miami Marlins, right? 46 and 41, 10 and 6 June, a very, 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 very strong June. But, that's only third in the NL East because it is the hardest division, in my opinion, in MLB right now. Right, but then we have the St. Louis Cardinals, 44 and 39, had a 13-12 June, so again, very even June, but they are also third in the NL Central, so that division is a little bit tricky too. But then we finally have the Texas Rangers, who are not that great, but the division isn't that great either. One of the worst divisions, if not the worst division in the ALS, which they are first in, and they had a 6 and 11 June, so a very strong June for them, which was probably why they're first in their division. Right, second in their division, I do believe it's at a dead and even 43 and 43 at the time that I was recording this, but I'm not entirely sure. Then we have the Padres, who have a 43 and 42 record, 11 and 15 June. That's second in the NL West, right? So, decent division in the NL West, but, I do believe this Padres team still has more to show on the table. Then you have the Washington Nationals at 45 and 30 and 43. They had a 13 and 14 June, so again, another very mid-June, which is enough to have them fourth in the NL East, right? I said that's probably one of the toughest divisions, if not the toughest divisions, right? Because you have a 45 and 43 team there, so it's very tough for them. Then we have the Seattle Mariners, who had a 44 and 43 record. They had a 13 and 14 June, and that's enough for second in the AL West. So they're tied. When I had these statistics up, they were tied for 43 and 33. My apology, I thought they're 43 and 43, but it's actually one game up in the win column. Now we have Now we have the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are also another dead even team. We finally go down into the negative records, though, for teams. They had a 43 and 44 record with a very bad June with 9 and 17. So that June really stumped the table for them. That's only fourth in the NL Central. So they were actually they were a really contender team, right, coming in. They got that really good, really, really good rookie, right, who was the first prospect in the MLB. He was number one at prospect in the MLB, but he did hurt his wrist, I believe, so he's going to be out for quite a bit. That news came in literally today. But this Pirates team, they had really good pitching. They have good pitching, so they still have one of the best farm systems in the league. So don't be surprised if this team makes their way into the playoffs and then becomes dominant in the next 4 or 5 years, because I really could see that with this Pirates team. Then at 17 of the Arizona Diamondbacks were back dead even at 42 and 43. They had a 10 and 16 June, so not really that great of a June. Kind of stunk the table for them. But that's third in the NL West, so not terrible. Then we had the Astros, who are 43 and 46, within a 6 and 11 June. And that's the reason why they're kind of high, right? If they didn't have that good of a June, I'd definitely put them lower, maybe at like 20, 21. But because they had such a good June, 6 and 11, they were able to find ways to win. That's why I think I put them at number 18, but that's during the AL West. Then we have the Toronto Blue Jays, 41, 46, 10 and 16 June, very bad June for them. Third in the AL East, not a good June for them at all. From coming from a World Series team to becoming not even in the top 10 is a disgrace in my opinion. So maybe the Blue Jays turn it around. They kind of didn't really do that last year. Can't really remember them doing that last year. But maybe they turned it around, find some ways to win, right? So we'll see. Then I have Minnesota Twins at 42 and 46, 12 and 14 June. They're in the AL Central, kind of makes sense. Reds, bad June again, just like the Pirates. Same record actually as the Pirates, and in the same division at 9 and 17. 36 and 46. 39, and 46 for the and fifth in the NL Central. Then we have Baltimore Orioles. My Orioles not having a good year. Haven't been able to find ways to get 3 consecutive wins in 4 consecutive wins yet. I believe they are one of the only team, if not the only team, not entirely sure on that statistic, but that is not good, and that's why they're 22 for me with a 40-48 record. But not having now I know 48 and 48 not good, right? Nobody's saying that's good. It's kind of mid, a little bit below average, but for a team that hasn't won 4 consecutive games, that's pretty dang good, actually, if you think about it, right? They're like winning, and then they're losing like a couple games, and they're winning it. It's like they're a very inconsistent team, the Orioles, and they cannot. I believe if this team gets over the hump, they can definitely show some magic, especially because they're getting healthy again. Maybe Pete Alonso starts raking and get some good go. I'll put them at 4th in the AL East. Then we have the Athletics, 23. They are 41-46. They have a 12-15 record, and that's 4th in the AL West. So, Athletics a little bit down here because they have Jacob Wilson, Nick Kurtz, Shea Langoliers, who I do believe made the All-Star game, right? So it's like kind of a down year for the Athletics, but I do believe that they will be able to bounce back. Then I have the Boston Red Sox at 37-48. They had a 12-14 June, 5th in the AL East. Then kind of the same as ESPN, all the same, bottom 5, all the same. We all had the same bottom 5. Tigers, 38-49 June, 15 overall record. The June record was 15-11. A pretty good June, actually, for them. Maybe they can finally start hitting the ball, doing some, maybe becoming a competitor like last year. 4th in the AL Central is where they stand right now. Then I have the Giants at 26, 38-50. Just horrible from the Giants. 12-14 June. That'll put them 4th in the NL West. Then I have the Mets at 36-51. Horrible season. This is generous for the Mets, right? I probably could have put them 28-29, but I gave them some benefit of the doubt because I know how good that roster is. I know this team can compete for the Mets. It's just that they don't want to, right? Look at Juan Soto play. I mean, not so top 10 in ESPN in Sports Center, right? So that was horrible. I mean, the ball just went right past him. He showed no effort trying to get to the ball. So he really is not that good. Not that good. Not saying that. He's actually top 5 outfielder, in my opinion. He is, not fielding wise, but top 5 outfielder hitting the ball, right? So he is very talented, but he has to show that talent on the field, and he's not this season. Same with the Mets. Bo Bichette not showing that talent. Lindor, I know he's been injured, but I'm just saying these Mets guys, they have some talent. They got to use it. Freddie Peralta has been so down this year, right? They have the chance to prove it, but they just got to go out and prove it. Then I have the Royals. Bobby Witt having a great year. Just so unlucky that his team is so 35-52, 9-17 June. Not a good June. 5th in the LS. All these teams are 5th in their division. And then finally, last 2 teams: Angels, Colorado Rockies. Angels 36-51. June 13-14. Pretty even June. And they're last in their division, the AL West. And finally, the Rockies, no shocker here, expected to be this bad, and they were. 34-55, a June of 10-16. I do believe that's the worst June record, besides the Reds and the Pirates. So that puts them at 3rd in the June record, so not good at all for them. And they are last in the NL West. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my MLB power rankings. In the comments, let me know, how'd I do? What should I change? Right, these dates are from July 2nd, so maybe my list would have been a little bit different if I did it now. But again, not only just check out, don't just watch this video. Check out some other videos that Anderson and I post. He's not here today, right? This is just me, but trust me, you should watch our videos because they're funny, they're chill. We talk about sports and only sports, so, check them out. Besides that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be seeing you all this Thursday on the Off the Record podcast, and I'll see you then. Peace out, guys.